Welcome to the Faith and Happiness podcast. I am your host, Elle Edwards, happiness coach on a mission to reclaim what it means to be Christian by helping you be youier. Now, part of you being youier is starting to recognize the fact that there is a purpose and a meaning and a passion and whatever word you want to use, a legacy that God has for you specifically. And that's what we're going to start thinking about today. We did talk about it a little bit yesterday, talked about niggles, and I did promise that we would dig into this some more. At the time of recording yesterday's episode, didn't have my notebook directly in front of me, didn't realize it would be the very next day. Otherwise, I would have told you that yesterday, but never mind, it's all good. What I want you to think about today, and what I want you to take on board is the fact that actually there is a bigger reason why this is important. So as you might expect from somebody who is your happiness coach, I do a lot of reading around happiness and joy and delight and positive psychology. And one of the books I read a couple of weeks ago now was all about, the opposite of pessimism. Optimism. My mind went completely blank then. I've been reading a book by Martin Seligman about optimism and how you can learn. I think it's called Learned Optimism is what the book is called. I should have written that down or had it somewhere in a big sticky note in front of me. But one of the things that he touched on, it wasn't a big part of it, but one of the things he touched on was that the research that they did, and what I love about Martin Seligman's work is that they've done real scientific studies into happiness, optimism, joy, delight, whichever word you want to use there. And so it takes what can be a sort of fluffy subject and gives it grounded science. And science is finally catching up to what God said thousands of years ago when he put in the Bible. You know, that Philippians 4 verse 8, whatever's lovely, whatever's praiseworthy, whatever's delightful, think about that stuff. Yes, I'm paraphrasing it, but God said it first. Think lovely thoughts. God designed us to be peoples of delight and happiness and joy. And what they found, and what Martin Seligman was writing about, was actually this sense of meaning, of something outside of ourselves, contributing to something more than just us, is a shortcut to happiness. Now, as a person of faith, you have that connection to God. So you're already a step ahead of people who don't have that faith. So you already, ideally, hopefully, realize that there is more to life than just you. You are part of a bigger picture, that bigger picture that ultimately only God knows the answer to. But what I want to challenge you today is to start thinking about, what is it? What's that purpose that God has given you? Now, I should add the warning that you can, without this warning, it's very easy to lose days, weeks, months, going round in circles, going, oh, what's my thing? What am I put on this planet to do? I know because I did it. Actually, me going round in circles with that work led to two things. It led to me forming my VA business, and it also led to the youier work that I'm doing now, because I went round in circles for the longest time. I love making people smile. And when I first I fell online. I didn't literally fall online, but I came online with our church charity, Give a Brick. And I fell into this world of personal development back in 2010, so nearly a decade ago now. People were earning money doing stuff that they were excited about. And I quickly came to realize that I wanted a piece of that as well. And I wanted to do something that made a difference. But I did go around in circles for the longest time. What's my thing? And you know what? I got so fed up of going round in circles trying to find my thing. The conclusion I came to was that my thing is to show up and just be me, the person God created me to be. And so I took all the tech skills that I learned as I was found in the charity and went and started my VA business, where I could use those tech skills to help other business owners. So it founded a whole business. At the same time, it founded youier, because what I've swiftly come to realize, that ultimately the secret to you being happier, having better mental health, is for you to embrace that person that God made you to be. At the same time, as I say that, there is still a purpose that God has for you. There will be something that niggles at you. Now, I know this from personal experience, because I stepped up. I said, right, okay, God, I'm going to just be me. I'm going to use these skills and help other business owners. And I did that for a time. And I built the business, and it was successful. And I had a waiting list, and that was fine. But still, there was something niggling at me. I felt God going, yeah, but there's more. Do you really want to get to the end of your days on this planet and that's what you've done? And the answer I had was actually no. Okay, so what is it? And I thought it was writing fiction. So I went off and wrote some books. And I am still going to write some fiction. It's not gone forever. If you're somebody who listens or watches this and you're waiting for Danielle, number 4 in my PI series, fear not, I will get to Danielle eventually. It's kind of my retirement plan, possibly. But I wrote all these books. And for a long time, I go, okay, I want to write books. Maybe that's the niggle. And I scratched that itch, but it wasn't it. And so then what kept coming up for me was this idea of community. What you are seeing in the Faith and Happiness Playground. It had different names, and I kept playing with it and then putting it to one side and playing with it and putting it to one side. And those niggles kept coming back. And so what I want to challenge you with today is that, yes, your thing is to be you. And at the same time as you stepping forward and fully embracing who you are, there will be things that niggle at you that God is calling you to play with. And so I want to challenge you today to start paying attention to those niggles. If you're not sure what those things are, ask God to show you. Keep an open mind. Take a deep breath and allow space for those niggles to have a voice as well. Sometimes we go so fast, we can't possibly, we leave no room for anything else. Breathe, okay? And as always, do this with a sense of fun and adventure. Because if that stuff is important, it will come back. What I am reminded of is Deuteronomy 31, I think it is, where God went ahead of the Israelites. God already knows what those things are that he has in mind for you to play with. There is no pressure. God is going ahead of you, preparing the way. So if you can approach this with a sense of lightness, experimentation, okay, God, show me what it is, knowing that he's already done it. He's there. He knows what it looks like. If this thing that's niggling at you is going to impact other people, he's already preparing the hearts of those people. The pressure's off. That the more that we can do this in step with God, A, the more successful it will be, B, the more fun it will be, and 3, the closer it will be to be, something that enriches the kingdom and moves heaven and brings heaven to earth. So this is a win-win scenario. But I want to encourage you today to start listening for those niggles. And if there is something, you might be sort of paying attention to this, going, okay, yeah, I know. If there's something that's there that you've put to one side, take this as a sign. Maybe this is God going, okay, now's the time. Don't be afraid. God knows he's going ahead of you. He's planning and he loves you. He wants to do this with you. He's not going, okay, there's this thing, go off and get on with it. He wants to be with you in relationships, step by step, doing this with you. But it does start by allowing space for God to do that work and go, okay, God, what is it? Show me. It's really exciting. I got to be honest, where we're at right now with the Faith and Happiness Playground, the way that God has sort of unwrapped it, and it's really exciting. It's terrifying sometimes too, because if you're going to give up control, but remember, you're giving up control to someone who loves you infinitely and knows you better than you know yourself because he made you. That's my encouragement for you. But in terms of homework and next steps, start paying attention to those niggles. Look out for them, listen for them, write them down, poke at them, ask God to explore them with you and see what comes up. And if you are a member of the playground, feel free to share those niggles over in the group as well. But in the meantime, as always, thank you for being here. Thank you for playing along, and smile. Have yourself a delightful day. I shall catch up with you next time. Take care. Bye-bye.